Family travel doesn't need to be expensive. Today, I'm going to show you what our family trip to Bulgaria actually cost us. We're going to do a full budget breakdown. We'll get into all the numbers, okay? Because every family deserves to have the opportunity to travel together without believing this stupid myth and lie that you need to be rich in order to travel, okay? If traveling for your family is your dreams, it's what you truly wish you could do with your family to create these lasting memories, then this video is for you. So be sure to watch the whole video through. So our time in Bulgaria was roughly 3 weeks. So it is essentially 23 days is exactly how many days. Now, usually because we slow travel, we usually do a minimum of 1 month, but this was a unique circumstance because our family is flying back to the United States. We are doing a 35-person giant Thanksgiving family trip done by my grandparents, and it is done every year. My grandparents are older and we are trying to spend as much time with them as we can. So some of these numbers, like the End Hotel before, are a little different than how we would do it because we have a different, unique circumstance for this month that we don't usually have. So now, if you know, we are 6 people. So we have 2 adults and 4 kids. And so this is a 6-person budget expense. We did 3 weeks, totaling 23 days. And our goal budget was $3,500. And again, that's a little bit of a larger number because of the hotel we needed to stay at to fly back to the United States at the end. The currency here in Bulgaria is the lev, okay? And something to note that in January 2026, they are switching from the Bulgarian lev over to the euro. And based on our feedback, it's a little like 50-50, whether people are happy or not so happy. Some people are like, I don't care, we get paid in euros anyways. So that's just like less currency exchange on my part, makes my day easier. Other people are concerned that maybe the prices of living and the daily cost will rise because of it. So we'll see, right? So when we traveled, 1 Bulgarian lev was essentially equivalent to 55 cents of the American dollar. So you get a little bit more bang for your buck, and same for euros and British pounds. So we were traveling with US dollars, and so that was the exchange rate pretty much at the time of travel. Cards are widely accepted, and pretty much you won't get turned down. The only times that we got turned down with the card is when we were trying to tip in restaurants sometimes. They did not allow us to tip with cards. They require cash. So keep that known to keep cash with you for some of the local mom and pop shops or the smaller grocery stores and for tipping. And there are 2 different prices in the grocery stores sometimes. They have their local price and the tourist price. So keep that in mind because sometimes they will try to get you and charge you more. And not only did we live that, we were also warned about that with friends we made here. So jumping into accommodations, we had 2 hotel stays, which essentially ended up equaling 1 week. The first one was 4 nights. We stayed at the Intercontinental Sofia for 4 nights. We had 1 room for the 6 of us, and it's an IHG rewards, which is why we chose this one. It cost $500 for those 4. Now, it was central location. It was in the middle of everything within walking distance in some restaurants. And we chose to stay here because we wanted our IHG rewards. We have usually done a Hilton only, but we decided to dabble in the IHG because the Hilton was not available for our dates. So we did go to IHG just to earn some hotel rewards because we like to cash them in for stays. The next hotel that we stayed at was at the inn. This is actually where we're filming right now. So we stayed at the Hotel Premier Sofia at the airport, okay? There's nothing around. We had 3 nights here, and it is a large 2-bedroom suite for a total of $800. The reason we have a 2-bedroom suite is because this hotel is in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing. It's not super safe to go out and walking because of the people that are surrounding the hotel. Also, there's nothing to walk to. There's no grocery stores. There's no restaurants. There's no anything near us. So we have pretty much been here for 3 days hunkering down. We get free complimentary breakfast on both of the hotels that we stayed with, and it's been pretty good. And then usually we have a late breakfast. We have snacks in the middle of the day, which our hotel gives us complimentary. And then we do one like early dinner in the evening. So we're only paying for 1 meal a day. And we have complimentary water, free water, and they have a water filter machine just out there on the hallway. And that is free as well. So other than that, we're just staying here. We're getting school, we're getting work done, and that's what we're doing for 3 days while we wait on our flight tomorrow morning at 4:30 in the morning. We have to dip, and it's a 25-hour travel day, so pray for us. So, moving on, that was a little bit of a tangent. After that hotel stay, we did stay in Velingrad for 1 week. We did an Airbnb, and it cost us $300 to stay there. We actually stayed in the owner's house. We didn't actually realize that that's what we were doing. We thought we had rented our own place, but I don't think it translated it correctly from Bulgarian into English. And so it was missed somewhere in that. So when we showed up, we were a little surprised that it was not our own like apartment, that it was someone's house with their husband and wife. So it took a little bit of adjusting, but that ended up being our best day of the whole time. We stayed there for 1 week and made amazing friends. And they actually came to stay with us in Bansko, which we ended up with next. So we stayed with the owner's house. She cooked. We cooked together. We didn't need to go to the grocery stores. We didn't need to eat out. We saved tons of money. And that whole week for the 6 of us was $300. And then we ended up with 1 week in Bansko. Now, Bansko is the big ski resort town, which is pricier. Bansko's prices are expensive. But we went before the ski season was open. It was still in the off season. In Bansko, we had an Airbnb that was 2 bedrooms. We stayed there for 1 week, and we had our apartment, which cost us $600 in Bansko. Now, total for all of our accommodations brought us to $2,200 US. Okay, that is usually way more than we spend, but that is because we had 2 hotels and 2 apartments. That is 4 different accommodations in 3 weeks. So if you start breaking that down, that does get more expensive, which is why I never say that you should do this. We had to do this because of some of the scheduling that we needed to be done for our upcoming trip. So that is way more than we would usually ever spend, but it still gave us enough wiggle room to stay within our budget. So if you're a busy parent and you want to make packing just a little bit more easier, don't forget to grab my free family packing list. We use it almost all the time, and it is in the comment section below, so don't forget to go and grab yours. So moving into food, right? Because that's like your second biggest cost. Our groceries, we spent a total of $293. Our dining out experiences, we did $569. Velingrad, I will note, we spent $0 for food during that week. We ate our late breakfast, our early dinner, with the light snacks in between, and our host, Sika, who we stayed with, cooked for us. She provided everything. She was baking us breakfast, we were cooking together, and she supplied everything. They made their homemade wine and brandy, and then when we left, she sent us home with so much food, fresh jams and jellies, and then I was baking my own homemade bread, which was like a few cents a loaf, and eating it with that to make the money stretch. So when she sent us home with everything, that lasted almost half a week of food and meals. So when you're totaling this up, it was a total of $862 for our food for those 3 weeks. And transportation. Now, we did 3 different day trips. Like we use day trips as the company, but it's just transfers from one city to another, and you can choose to go back if you want to. And those totaled $64 each. We did one from Sofia to Velingrad, Velingrad to Bansko, and Bansko back to Sofia for our airport flight. So that totaled $192 for our transfers between cities. Our activities, we spent a whopping $0. We chose to do all the free activities that we could find, and there was plenty to do in Bulgaria that was free. So we had no issues. Every single activity and experience that we did was free. And we walked. At one point, we walked to the mall, which was like a 45-minute walk. And my daughter did get tennis shoes. My toddler, we did buy tennis shoes. I didn't put that in here, but the tennis shoes, I want to say, were they were like 40 euros. They were like pricey. They were 40 euros. It was about like $45. And my toddler got shoes because her shoes were literally falling apart and she only had one pair of shoes. So we did spend that on shoes. We got one pair of shoes for the kids, for the kid, and we walked there and back, and which was almost an hour and a half of walking. So next are flights, right? Because I'm sure that's like what everybody's curious on, like how much did we actually spend? Flights were free because we had our Capital One travel points. So we had a credit because we've used our credit card on all of our expenses and we just pay it off. So our flight, and we flew from Scotland. That's important to know. We flew from Scotland, layover in Amsterdam, and then we went to Sofia, Bulgaria. Our flight was free because we had enough points racked up that we didn't have to pay for any of our 6 flights. So we cashed those in and got free flights. So our 3-week total came down to, remember our budget was $3,500. We ended up spending $3,254. So we came under budget, which was great. And again, everything free that we could with some of the food, was staying with the Airbnb host, our airlines, the activities was really good. And then walking as much as you can really helped. If we hadn't have done those free things, we would have gone over our budget. So those are the ways that our family was able to save. And these are the way that your family should save too. And also cutting down on the amount of accommodations that you're staying in. Next, we will be in one continent, a new continent, and one country we will be in for 3 months. And we are in the same accommodation for 3 months. And I can assure you, it is more than half of what we paid for our accommodation for 3 weeks in Bansko, okay? So we do this smart. We do this on a budget, okay? So keep in mind that we'll share those too when we get to it. There you have it. This is how much our family spent for our family trip in Bulgaria for 3 weeks as a family of 6. If you want to build a lifestyle of family travel and freedom, you don't need to be rich, okay? You just need to know that not everything is going to come with a high price tag. It is possible to be done. So leave a comment and grab your free family packing list. I'll pin it in the comments below and let me know, do you think this was a high budget? Do you think this was a low budget? Do you think your family can do this? Because we're a family of 6. So let us know in the comments below. And until next time, see ya.